Welcome back, dear friends. Second part of today's first update on 24th of October 2024. And in this part, I will mainly talk about BRICS summit. I will share with you latest information that Russian media reported about. So first of all, this information from TASS News Agency that BRICS member states yesterday approved their declaration of their summit. So BRICS heads of the state adopted the Kazan declaration, which sets out the results of the summit and the entire Russian presidency of the BRICS organization. And as you know, this year it's turn of Russia to lead this organization. The document was approved by Russian President Vladimir Putin as the host of the BRICS summit. On my Telegram channel, I shared some key points from this declaration, which has over 100 different points, by the way, in it. So if we go through all of it, it will take quite a long time, but I will share with you at least some of it. So in this declaration highlighted the importance of expanding cooperation based on common interests and further strengthening strategic partnership. Also, national positions were fixed regarding the situation in Ukraine and around it. Also, in this declaration, expressed the concern over the negative impact of illegal sanctions on the global economy. There is also a call for more active participation of the least developed countries, especially from Africa, in global processes. Declaration welcomed the significant interest of the global South countries in their association. Also noted proposals for mediation to peacefully resolve the Ukrainian conflict through dialogue, expressed concern over the escalation of violence and the worsening humanitarian crisis in Sudan, calling for a ceasefire. Also confirmed concern over the escalation of violence and confirmed their commitments to multilateralism and maintaining the central role of the UN in the international system, emphasized the importance of continuing to implement their economic partnership strategy until 2025 across all areas, confirmed support for a comprehensive reform of the UN, including the Security Council, to enhance its representativeness, welcomed the use of national currencies for financial transactions between the association's countries and their trading partners, opposed the unilateral measures introduced under the pretext of combating climate change, condemned attacks on UN personnel, threats to their safety, and called on Israel to immediately cease such actions, welcomed the establishment of the Transitional Presidential Council in Haiti and the creation of the Electoral Council to resolve the crisis, confirmed their decision on measures to support WTO reform, World Trade Organization's reform, called for reforms of their Bretton Woods institutions to reflect their representation of developing countries. And as I mentioned, dear friends, there are over 100 different topics that are mentioned in this declaration. It's a huge document. Also, dear friends, BRICS countries agreed to discuss and study the possibility of creating independent cross-border settlements and depository infrastructure, BRICS Clear. So that's the name of, or working name at least, of that system, BRICS Clear, that probably will start operating sometime in next year, I guess, and will enhance trade between the countries, bilateral cooperation, avoiding avoiding Western immensely weaponized financial and their banking institutions. So, yes, that's when it comes to this declaration. Also, dear friends, as I already mentioned, BRICS rejects illegal Western sanctions. That was one of their key points. BRICS countries strongly oppose and condemn the practice of unlawful politically motivated sanctions that undermine the development of their other states, according to a joint declaration adopted at the 16th BRICS summit in Kazan, which is important, dear friends, important topic because after all, we are talking about 40 45% of humanity that was represented on this, that BRICS is representing, right? And if you count all the countries that have interest to cooperate with BRICS, then we are talking about majority of humanity. So this is humanity's position that Western ruling class basically that is actively using these sanctions policies against just about everybody that they don't like to be stopped because this practice is illegal. I don't think Western ruling class gonna listen to BRICS in this regard, but at least they have information that world is not in support of their actions. RT is reporting that Chinese leader and Indian leader Xi Jinping and Modi hold the talks at the BRICS summit in Russia. Chinese President Xi Jinping and Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi have held their first bilateral meeting in almost 5 years on their sidelines of the BRICS summit in the Russian city of Kazan. The meeting came days after the two nuclear-armed neighbors announced an agreement on patrolling disputed border areas, which has been a point of contention since Indian and Chinese troops clashed in June 2020. And dear friends, yesterday on this topic, and many other topics, but on this topic also, Alexander Mercury's um, shared his opinion, well-informed opinion, and he lied in his program on his personal channel. And Alexander Mercuris is, of course, a host of Duran Show. We all know, um, and I recommend if you are interested on this topic a bit more. I definitely recommend to watch Alexander Mercuris's program. He highlighted that it took about decade for Russia and China to achieve a full demarcation of the border, and it was a difficult process. It was difficult process. Many members of our community probably know that during the Soviet era there was even military clashes between Russian and Chinese troops on some border areas. But uh, but sides still sides still manage to overcome all their obstacles to come to achieve some um, agreement and uh, and um, and it was not easy, not popular, but it was done, right? And obviously situation between China and India is a bit different, a bit more difficult because it's a vaster area that we are talking about. But as long as sides are in principle moving towards this bilateral agreement, or as long as sides are willing to compromise whenever it is possible, really, then hopefully, maybe not in a year or 2 year, or maybe not even in decade, but eventually sides will reach agreement, and the relationships between two major superpowers in this world will improve so much so that they might even call each other strategical partners one day. Who knows? Why not? That would be great for this world, right? So it is very important. It is very important that sides are having a conversation, meeting, and they're managing to overcome whatever obstacles they are facing right now, and willing to work on on the issues. Very important development, obviously. TASS news agency is also reporting that, press secretary of the Russian president, Vladimir Peskov, was asked about NATO members becoming BRICS members, and he said that in principle, there is no issue with that. NATO member state can become a BRICS member. BRICS organization has no specific some guidelines on that. That if you are a NATO member, you cannot become a BRICS member or something like that. And this statement from Peskov is obviously oriented on Turkey, because it is Turkey that expressed interest to join the BRICS. And initially, several experts here in Russia expressed their opinions that, it is highly unlikely that BRICS will accept NATO member to join the BRICS. And dear friends, even though there are no official obstacles for Turkey to join the BRICS, after all member states have to agree when new members are joining in, right? And I really doubt that number of BRICS member states will ever agree Turkey to join organization as long as it is a part of the NATO. But let's go through this news a little bit more. So NATO membership is not an obstacle to join the BRICS. Russian presidential spokesman Dmitry Peskov said, from the point of view of BRICS and their main approaches of BRICS, there are no objections here. The Kremlin representative said in a comment to NTV TV channel, Russian channel, answering the question about the possibility of Turkey becoming a member of their association. So this is Moscow's position, but once again, uh, it did not mean that Turkey will join BRICS anytime soon, because yet again, I guess at least some members of the organization will be against members of their hostile military alliance to join the BRICS and then play role of a Trojan horse in the organization by being a representative, basically, of their collective West, right? So let's see. Um, Turkey Turkey's leadership understands that future is um, best opportunities for Turkey is in BRICS, is in emerging multipolar world, but some very important decisions need to be made by Ankara before um, they will truly join this new world order, if you want, multipolar world. TASS news agency is also reporting that well. Um, Let me translate this topic also. Well, this topic is about basically further enlargement of the BRICS, and I shared information about it yesterday. I shared my thoughts on this matter. I had no expectations that BRICS will receive new members this year. Uh, there was statements from Russian foreign minister, from some other high-ranking officials of the BRICS member states that organization now is focused on resolving some other issues, and after that, BRICS will obviously open its doors again and will receive more members. And there are over 30 countries that want to join in. Leadership of Pakistan, for example. Uh, yet again highlighted that they hope they will join BRICS as soon as possible. Venezuela wants to join BRICS as soon as possible. All the other countries, Malaysia, I mean, you name it. There are 2 or 3 dozen of countries that are queuing in right now. But no in 2024, and I doubt that BRICS will expand in 2025 either. Let's see. But obviously, some significant some significant progress needs to be made all right now inside the BRICS, including on topic of creation of alternative financial and banking system, and only after that, it does make sense to bring in new members. And by the way, head of RT, Margarita Simonian, is making headlines. She was also at the BRICS summit, understandably so, and she had a conversation on on sidelines of the BRICS with journalists, with members, with delegations, and she stated that world is tired of U.S.-led U.S.-led West. RT's editor-in-chief, Margarita Simonian, stated the BRICS summit in the Russian city of Kazan signals that the world is tired of their dictates of their US-led collective West. RT's editor-in-chief, Margarita Simonian, has said the gathering also exposes the West's failed attempts to isolate Russia. She added, speaking on Tuesday, at the event marking the anniversary of the diplomatic relations between Russia and China, the RT's editor-in-chief recalled the words of Chinese President Xi Jinping, who once said that his country does not need foreign masters who attempt to interfere in internal affairs on the pretense of human rights concerns. The same can be heard in Russia from President Vladimir Putin. Simonian stated, "We know the price of their hypocrisy, Western hypocrisy, when they talk about human rights. And this is being said by the same people who use drug trafficking and their most brutal, most disgusting ways to enslave a nation in an effort to force China not to be China, which they did during Opium Wars," Simonian stated. So she went through history. We all know about these Opium Wars, and uh, she was rewarding through that episode of history. She emphasized that the ongoing BRICS summit in Kazan demonstrates the clear friendship between the countries attending the event, but also provides evidence of the West's failed attempts to isolate Russia from the rest of the world. It shows our fatigue with them, with their hypocrisy, with their dictates, with their attempts to turn us into something different, with their attempts to chop off pieces of from us. Simonian said, "We are all tired. Thank you for the fact that we are tired together and will eventually rest together when the truth prevails and this unipolar world, which is already in tatters, ceases to exist." Leaders from around the world have gathered in Kazan for 16th BRICS Summit on October 22 to October 24th. We all know this. So, I mean, can you disagree with Simonian, by the way? In which point she is incorrect? She is correct on every single point. World is clearly tired of the Western ruling class, and they attempt to uh, dictate to everybody what to do, how to live, what is good, what is bad. World is tired of Western ruling class. This is too obvious, and that's why, by the way, dozens and dozens of countries are seeking closer ties with the BRICS because they see this alternative and they want to be part of it, in which you are respected, you are treated as equal, right? Uh, which is great, by the way, and I have no doubts. Multipolar world, although no system is perfect, isn't it? Uh, Humans are not perfect, so therefore, whatever humans gonna make, not gonna be perfect either. But uh, but multipolar world gonna be much more just system than Western dominated world, right? I have no doubts about that. And dear friends, I will end the second part of today's first update on that. Hopefully, you will find this part also informative and interesting. And if so, please click that like button, leave some commentary, and share information about my channel with your friends on internet or in real life. That might help to overcome these artificial obstacles that immensely aggressive algorithm is creating. And if you like my work, if you want to support me and my channels, you can do it with donations or by subscribing to my Patreon or Boosty pages, where I have final updates for a day with all the additional news that Russian media is reporting about during their day. All the links are on this video description box and in the pinned comment. And hopefully you will join me in the third part of today's first update, which is also going to be very interesting, by the way. There's plenty of interesting topics, interesting news that I will share in the third part. And if you have not seen first part, please check that video also. That would be also support of my work. So see you later.